Hey, welcome back to another episode of Pre-Calculus. Today, we're going to talk about the vertical line test. So, if you take a pre-calc or any class that you take in that talk about functions and relation, maybe you know a little bit about the vertical line test. So today we're going to see why the vertical line test really tell us that a relation is a function, and that's exactly what it asks us here. So when you think about the vertical line test, so think about a vertical line going down this way. So let's say this vertical line here was at 2, right? So if you think about the vertical line, it's going down at 2. So at 2, it's saying, what it says here is the function the vertical line intersect the function at one point, and there's only one point called 2. It doesn't intersect the graph, which is the one in green. This is in pink. This is the graph. It doesn't intersect it at any other point, and intersect it at one point. So now, if I draw another vertical line here, and intersect at one point, same thing here, any other place that I draw a vertical line. Now, what does it say is about this graph right here? This graph is a function because the vertical line test, it passes the vertical line test. Now, why exactly does that happen? What are they telling us? So it comes exactly from the definition of function and relation. So in a function, you know that for the input values cannot have two different outputs. So that means the vertical line is y is equal to, so like let's say this vertical line here is is x is equal to 2. So that's the input, the x values. So this vertical line, it says x is equal to 2. For x is equal to 2, I have only one value for y. For x is equal to -2 here, if you think about this one at -2, I have only one value for y. So the vertical line tests tell us that, hey, for this input, this is how many output I have for it. So for this input, 2, how many output I have for it? If I have one output for it, that means we're good. You can also not have an output for it. But if I have one output for it, that means we're good, it's a function. If I have multiple output for it, it's not a function. I'll show you something else. That doesn't pass the vertical line test. So let's say I have a function here. So let's say I have a function here that looks like this. So if I have a function here that looks like this, if I draw the vertical line going down for this function, a vertical line at close to 2, and a vertical line close to -2, a vertical line close to 2. So that means for that one value of 2, the function intersect the vertical line at 2 points. Here, the same thing. So that means this is not a function. It's not a function because it doesn't pass the vertical line test. So what that means is that value, that x value for x is equal to 2, I have two different y values. It's associated with a y value of whatever here is 2.5, let's say this is 2.5, and also 1. So it's associated with those two values. Same thing for the -1. So that is not a function. In recap, the vertical line test tells us something is not a function, or whether or not a relation is a function, because it really tells you, how many output that is associated with that input at that vertical line. Because the vertical line is x is equal to y. So it tells you how many output are in there. So if you have multiple output, that means it's not a function. If you have one, that means you're in a function. Thank you.